Have you ever looked at someone who seems to have it all together and wondered, how do they do it? How do they wake up early, stay fit, succeed in their careers, maintain relationships, keep their homes organized, and still somehow find time for joy, hobbies, or personal growth? It's easy to assume these people possess some rare discipline gene or superhuman willpower. But what if I told you their secret isn't about big, dramatic efforts at all? What if the real key to a better life lies in something so small, so subtle, that you might have overlooked it? What if micro-habits are the foundation of everything you've ever wanted? Because they are. Micro-habits are the tiniest possible actions that, when repeated consistently, have the power to change your entire life. And not just in theory but in reality. Micro-habits are so powerful because they bypass your brain's resistance to change. They don't trigger the alarm bells. They don't feel like a threat. They're almost invisible. Which is exactly why they work. In a world that's always chasing the next big thing, we underestimate the power of the small. We forget that the most dramatic transformations often come from the most subtle shifts. That becoming a different person doesn't always start with a bang, it starts with a whisper. Like drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning. Like stretching for 30 seconds after getting out of bed. Like writing one sentence in your journal. Like taking one deep breath before checking your phone. These aren't just cute ideas. They're strategies backed by behavioral psychology and neuroscience. And today, we're diving into why micro-habits can completely reshape your life, emotionally, physically, financially, and spiritually. Because let's be honest, you don't need more pressure. You need more grace. You need change that feels doable. Change that doesn't rely on motivation or willpower. Change that feels like a gentle unfolding, not a battle to be won. Let's start with this truth: your life right now is the result of your habits. Not your goals, not your dreams, not your intentions, your daily habits. If you want a different life, you have to change what you do consistently. But that's hard when your days are already packed, when you're tired, overwhelmed, or just trying to get through the week. That's where micro-habits come in. Because a micro-habit isn't meant to overhaul your routine, it's meant to sneak in and anchor it. It's a seed. And like all seeds, it starts tiny. But inside that tiny seed is a massive oak tree of transformation. Let's take the habit of reading, for example. Instead of saying, "I'll read a book a week," what if your micro-habit was simply reading one page per day? That's it. One page. The magic isn't just in the page, it's in what happens next. One page often becomes two. Two becomes 5. Before you know it, you're 100 pages deep and your relationship with learning has shifted. But even if it doesn't, even if you stick to one page, that's still 365 pages a year. That's a book or two you might not have read otherwise. That's how micro-habits operate. Quietly. Steadily. Under the radar. And the best part? They stack. One micro-habit leads to another. One small win builds momentum. And momentum builds confidence. Micro-habits work because they create identity shifts. When you do something consistently, even something small, you start to see yourself differently. You're no longer someone who wants to be healthy. You're someone who walks for 5 minutes every day. You're no longer someone who wishes they meditated. You're someone who takes 1 minute to breathe deeply before bed. And that shift in identity is where the real magic lives. Let's talk about the brain for a second. The human brain is wired to conserve energy. That means it resists anything that feels too effortful. Big goals. They're sexy, but they trigger resistance. Your brain goes into panic mode, like, too hard, too much, let's stay in bed. But micro-habits? They're easy. They fly under the radar. The brain says, "Oh, that? Sure. We can do that." And so you do. And with each repetition, you strengthen a new neural pathway. You reinforce a new belief. You create a new rhythm. One that doesn't rely on hustle or hype. Because hustle burns out. Motivation fades. But habits? They stick. You don't have to think about brushing your teeth anymore, do you? That's a habit. And it started the same way, with something small, repeated until it became automatic. Micro habits are the foundation of true, lasting change. They're also incredibly compassionate. They give you room to be human. They make space for real life. Because guess what? Life is unpredictable. Some days you're on fire. Other days, you're just trying to survive. Micro habits meet you wherever you are. They whisper, you don't have to do it all. Just do something. And that something keeps the flame alive. That something keeps you in motion. That something keeps you in integrity with yourself. When you honor your micro habits, you stop breaking promises to yourself. You start becoming someone you trust. And that is life-changing. So many of us have been conditioned to believe that change has to be hard. That success only comes through struggle. That we have to earn our transformation through suffering. But that's a lie. Ease is not laziness. Simplicity is not weakness. Grace is not a shortcut, it's a strategy. Micro habits are grace in action. Let's bring it back to emotion for a moment. Because we don't just want better habits, we want a better life. One that feels meaningful, aligned, fulfilling. You know that ache you feel when you know you're meant for more, but you're not sure how to get there. That inner whisper that says, you were made for something bigger. That whisper is sacred. And it doesn't need a 10-step plan. It just needs one step. Today. So what's your micro habit? Maybe it's writing one sentence about your dream life every night. Maybe it's taking one extra sip of water. Maybe it's choosing a 30-second smile in the mirror. It doesn't matter how small it is, it matters that it's yours. And as you repeat it, day by day, you'll start to notice something. You'll feel a little more confident. A little more centered. A little more powerful. You'll feel the shift. Slowly, subtly, quietly. And one day you'll look back and realize, you're living a life that used to feel impossible. Not because you overhauled everything overnight. But because you honored the power of the small. You believed in the magic of momentum. You respected the process. And you started. So if you're feeling stuck right now, if your life feels too chaotic, your dreams too far away, your energy too low, start smaller. Start with a whisper, not a roar. Start with one micro habit. And then, just keep going. Let your habits build your identity. Let your identity shape your actions. Let your actions shape your life. You are more powerful than you think. Not because you can do everything at once, but because you're capable of consistent, loving, intentional effort. You don't have to climb the whole mountain today. Just take one step. Then another. Then another. That's how transformation works. That's how you work. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are simply ready for a better way. And micro habits, they're your way home.